I think it is most important for a teacher to have fairness, honesty, compassion, and dedication always. Now, the reason being I believe that fairness is an important aspect of teaching is because that I believe all students should have equal opportunities and are always deserving of having the same rights, opportunities as all other students, no matter background, race, culture. And I think it is extremely important because in order for a child to succeed, they should feel comfortable, they should feel confident, they should feel as if they are capable of succeeding certain things. And if a teacher decides to treat them unfairly or differently than the other students, this will really hinder their confidence levels, and their chances of succeeding will be essentially decreasing. And that's completely unfair to the student, and it's not what any student should deserve, no matter the circumstances. I do feel too that all teachers should have honesty. And when I say honesty, I mean that essentially you should practice what you preach. Now, we like to teach students to always tell the truth, avoid lying, or just be truthful with themselves. And in order to do this, and in order for them to recognize how to do this, it is important for the teacher to display signs of honesty. And this would mean, when a student asks a question about anything aside from the personal life or, anything that's considered inappropriate for the school environment, a question just should be answered truthfully and honestly, with good intentions. Compassion, I feel like, is another quality that a teacher should have. I think it is important for teachers to always keep in mind the student and their needs. And I think it's important for teachers to create a very welcoming and safe environment where students feel comfortable to be themselves, express themselves, and to just share happiness and thoughts among students and teachers. And I feel being compassionate with students really shows them how they should present themselves to the world and how they should be with others and how they should interact with others. And I feel all these different qualities will then open up the opportunity to understand each student individually and the backgrounds that they come from, and it'll help learn about their cultures and essentially who they are. And this is so important because we live in a very diverse world, and to allow our students to succeed, we should always open their eyes to diverse situations and show them that there are different cultures and backgrounds out there, and just so that they can be more inclusive with others, because they need to understand that not everyone is like them, and they will not have experiences with people that are the same as them always. And this is extremely important for teachers to teach this and to also just understand, because if we don't understand all these different cultures and backgrounds and everything, then essentially we're not understanding the student, and that's just completely squandering all the things that we have essentially been taught. I do think, though, that advocacy will be something any teacher will have difficulty with. Now, I say this because as much as we want to give all students equal opportunities and give them as much as we can, it will probably come at costs, or it'll probably be difficult, and it won't always be easy. And I think we essentially expect certain outcomes and we won't get them and we will be disappointed. And I think it'll be hard to find ways to advocate for students successfully and accept certain failures. And I think advocacy is something that all educators and teachers could work on, because it's constantly developing. There are constantly new students, there are constantly new situations, and that will never stay constant. So we will always have to advocate for something or someone. And I think it will essentially it'll be an uphill battle for that. As far as feedback comes from, observations from, principals or vice principals, I personally thrive off of constructive criticism, and I will always appreciate and welcome advice from others. And I like this because it gives me an insight of how I am and my ways of teaching or approaching different situations. And I think it is so important to acknowledge that there are different perspectives to everything, including how I individually come off to others. And I really am a strong believer in accepting, these criticisms or compliments or, any sort of praises for what I do, because it just shows me that I need to work on something, or that I'm doing something right, or what I can do better, or what should be done. And I believe that teaching is not constant, and that there is always room for improvement, and that there's always work to do better. And I think that being a teacher, you should always strive for the best, and you should always strive for the success of the students. And really, at the end of the day, it's about the students and no one else.